World News Live. Yes, good to see everybody out there. Much love. Gerardo, welcome to the underground. Much love to everybody out there. Get some mic checks here. Feedback era, E-Fits, Quantum, thank you. Crown Jewels in the house. Eon checking in from the equator. Boy, feels good being able to Ireland. Reach cats around the globe, that's for sure. I do appreciate that. The connection, even though I'm heavily censored. And it's always good to see people from all over. Hoodie Ross in the house. D. White. My boys, my mods. Much love, everybody out there. Hope all is good. Got a lot to cover tonight, as always. We're not short on stuff to talk about these days, that's for sure. There's a lot going on. I try to get it knocked out here within 2 hours. Much love, all pure bloods. Salutes. If you got anything you want to get to me, dabu7@yahoo.com or at me at dabu77 in the chat there. Exclusive here on YouTube, where we've been here for a minute. Uncommon in the house. Yes, my brother. I just was reading it. Was just getting through some of the details of that. And we got a connect game. Lansing in the house. Tallahassee, Tennessee. Checking in all over Texas. Good to see all y'all out there. Johns Island. Yes, sealed by the Holy Spirit. That is right. That is what operates through me. That righteous, Holy Spirit. I try to be a conduit. I ask the Lord every night. I didn't do it yet, but dear Lord, Most High in heaven, be with me tonight here on this stream. Help me gather your people and drop the message you want me to drop. Yes, that's it. So we get it popping like that. Florida in the house, 228, Quantum. Starting off with a beautiful shot there. Fire sunset there. Off the water. And we're going to go from there up to space real quick. And start it off like we always do. Into Minnesota in the house. I see you. We're getting an upgrade in terms of what's going to be going on with observing the sun. Right now, we depend on SOHO. This is an instrument that sits out in a gravity well in space between Earth and the sun, and it sits in a position where it can catch all the activity of the sun in a really good spot, plus all types of other activity. They're announcing that they're going to have a replacement for it because that's been in place since 1995. They're going to keep it going, so they say, but they've got this C-Core 1 solar coronagraph on board the new GOES 19 satellite. And it's going to look just like this here is what they're saying. With the disc over it blocking out the sun, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I'd rather see the whole shebang. Want to see everything that's going on. And Soho's done a good job because they can't hide all the stuff that goes whizzing by all the time. Off that feed, you get to see everything that's going on out there. This one I can already tell it's filtered. You don't see none of the stuff flying around. It almost looks like a filter's on it. So the good old days, being able to watch everything like in crazy detail, like a superhighway on Soho. Here we go. like this. You see all these objects that are flying around constantly over here. On Soho. It just looks like they're cleaning it up. And let me jump over to one of the bigger stories here right out of the gate. Much love, Joe. This is cute. All of a sudden, and I know you guys have had to have heard, especially if you're following me and watching the show, all the stuff going on with Boeing. All types of failures, engines, to the wings, to doors popping off, all types of stuff, nosediving. Well, they were also involved with this pod that was supposed to go up and get the people from the ISS, and they didn't do it because they didn't trust it. So SpaceX is supposed to have been the ones that stepped up to the plate, come to the rescue. Well, here we go again in a brand new story, and a kind of weird setup because, well, it goes like this. The Boeing made Intelsat 33E satellite, which is up in geostationary orbit. They're trying to say here dozens of pieces of debris are now a hazard for satellites and spacecraft. We're getting word that that's like dozens and dozens and dozens of pieces after this thing mysteriously explodes. Now, someone that's kind of tracking this rather closely outside of the U.S., because the U.S. Space Force, they're watching this and all the debris. They're saying they don't know why it exploded. It's left people without power and communication services all across Asia. Right up to Russia's doorstep. And Russia's saying that they watched it. And they're watching what's going on. And that they see all kinds of pieces floating around out there, debris from this. They're really one of the first ones that comes to mind here because we know Russia has satellites that have weapons on them. They've told us, our own space agencies have told us, our militaries have told us, they've got lasers, they've got some bad weapons. They've got these devices up there that are like satellites floating around, but they're not a satellite at all. They're designed to actually bite into a satellite and destroy it. Makes you wonder. Who took this out? It didn't have to be Russia or anybody. It would have been more to the advantage of the U.S. or the West have taken this one out. But I mean, it's Boeing here. I mean, they're using it for communications over that whole region of Asia. So you start talking about China, the South China Sea, all the stuff going on down there. Anyway, this satellite is a total loss, blown to pieces. The U.S. Space Force says it's tracking at least 20 pieces, but others besides the Russian Space Agency report a greater number. Other observers have seen higher amounts of debris. Exo Analytics Solutions told Space News it was tracking 57 pieces of debris and was warning operators of spacecraft that it could be at risk of collision. So it's basically saying to Boeing, SpaceX, anyone out there that we now have a huge debris field of scattered debris that can cause all kinds of issues. But interesting, they're saying that it's a mystery explosion. And, dude, this was no CubeSat satellite. Okay? CubeSat satellites are like the size of a mailbox or so. And you send them up, and there's all kinds of them up there. The Starlink ones are a bit bigger. and can be tethered together, and they look way larger when they're tethered together. But this single satellite itself weighed 14,000 pounds. So it wasn't a small one. It was a huge rig set up there that could have been doing several different things. But yeah, dozens of pieces of debris. We could see fireballs coming down, depending on the size of these pieces in the coming days. Like I said, this was a rather big rig up there in space. That Boeing taking another hit. So, all right, I got a recall now from the FDA. They're recalling thousands of antidepressant bottles due to a cancer-causing chemical. They issued a Class 2 recall of more than 7,000 bottles of this antidepressant, duloxetine. It's due to a possible presence of a carcinogen. And apparently this carcinogen has a serotonin and other stuff in it that can be an inhibitor. And just putting out the warning. So when I see these things, it reminds me of all the commercials I used to see back in the day. Maybe they still got them going on. Of try Zambemic or some stupid name, like off-the-shelf name, and to treat this and that. And then all of a sudden it starts saying that you could have severe bleeding and bleeding out the ears and the mouth. And crazy stuff, liver failure. If you do, seek a doctor immediately, and all these warnings. And I'm like, well, that can't be good at all. People consuming these medicines, and it's causing more harm than it's doing good. I mean, once you get cancer, it's like done. They get you to that stage. Once you got to battle that, it's total different ball game. But yeah, this is a brand under the name Cymbalta. Yep. So if anybody out there is on Cymbalta, I know some people are probably like, what? Yeah, Cymbalta, not good. Antidepressant drug, can cause cancer. Just remember that. All right, here's one. All of a sudden, we've got a warning of an E. coli outbreak at McDonald's. Since when have they cared what you got or caught from McDonald's? Who even knows what's in that junk? But this is all political. It seems to have to be. As soon as Trump goes there, the day after, literally, the day after Trump does this McDonald's thing, they come rolling out with this, oh, there's an E. coli outbreak now. And it's just the optics of the whole thing. For small-minded people that they're trying to manipulate. But it definitely didn't all come from the McDonald's that he was handing food out the window. But yet that's what people will think immediately. For whatever reason. Arkansas in the house. Yeah, I've got a story on that, Lisa, here in a bit. But they're saying 49 illnesses in 10 states linked to this. Just a heads up, I tell you, wouldn't be eating that junk anyway. Keep it pushing. Dennys is plotting to close, just like a bunch of other places have and are continuing to do. A bunch of stores, this time 150. It's a lot. And it's actually what they're calling part of their growth strategy. Some are laughing at it because it's not growth, that's decline. And it's nothing but here in this Biden's America that we're living through. The worst days I've seen of my life in terms of economy and everything around us, how things are going, inflation, the cost of everything, it's the worst ever. and a lot of people are feeling that. So yeah, Dennys, soon as it's all going downhill. I mean, it's just going to get down to maybe a couple dozen stores somewhere in select places that are doing the best. Who knows? Who even knows? It's crazy because I know that most places out here, at least where I'm at, seem to always be busy or stay popping. Restaurants, things like that. If you're serving decent food, people are going to be coming there. They do so decent around here where I'm at. A lot of them don't even open up on the weekends. They just close down and take the weekend off. So it's like, what? What's really going on here? Because like I said, I could roll up and roll past Dennys and it'd be popping. And it's like, are you really hurting? But anyhow, they're closing down. Just like everything. This one says restaurants and their bankruptcies are piling up, and the TGI Fridays may be next. So here we go. Add them to the list. Yep. They got 600 locations in 55 countries, including 233 in the United States. So, yeah. It says here that you've got Red Lobster that's filed for bankruptcy. Rubio's Restaurants. Melt Bar and Grill. Kuma Holdings. Tijuana Flats. Sticky Finger Joint. Boxer Raymond. Just to name a few there. All despairing. Going bankrupt. By 2030, it's going to look completely different, man. They're hollowing the place out. BlackRock swooping up and snatching everything up. Coming for your Gucci slippers. I can't believe I'm saying that, but as you can see here, Gucci crisis drags carrying shares to the largest annual drop since 2008. And that was the last huge crisis that they had in the markets and everything. So, Gucci's revenue on a comparable basis, down 25%. So, down 25%. And they're like geeking. Yeah, everyone's feeling it. Here's one, Polaris, that makes your ATVs make side-by-sides, things like that. They're saying the same thing everyone else is saying. Every week I'm saying these things. You start to see patterns here, man. They're saying a challenging retail demand. The consumer is hit. That's what they keep saying, everybody. Fitch, man. Much love. Thank you for the super chat. It's the way it is here, man. Their sales overall are down 23% when you look here at the numbers. And they've got marine sales. They've got off-road sales. Look, the marine sales are doing the worst. Jet skis, anything like that, they're down 36%. So when they start seeing these numbers, they're like, uh-oh. And it's everywhere. So, absolutely everywhere. 20% of households that make over $150,000 a year are living paycheck to paycheck. It's not a surprise, is it? Yeah, it's a constant, man. Quantum, thank you for the coffees. It's your birthday. Happy birthday. And he says, much love and respect to all the Pure Blood family. So much love to all the Pure Bloods out there, and thank you again for the love and support. If you guys got anything you want to get to me or me to see, do like Quantum just did right there and tag me in the chat. Much love right back, yeah. But yeah, not a surprise there. Everyone, it's been like this for years. Years now. It's getting worse and worse and worse. some of the bigger businesses now that stayed in this the whole time wouldn't have to worry about bankruptcy. It's like they're not making it out of it. So look what they're talking about and pushing here now. Real deal. And you may want to start thinking about something like this. I mean, I don't know what y'all's situations are. Everyone's situation's different. But I get emails and conversations going from people that are in crazy predicaments and situations. And it keeps resorting back to these tiny homes. And as crazy as it sounds, and you don't want to see it, you don't want to see America completely downsizing in these itty bitty little homes. But the fact is if you're someone that's single or maybe just a couple, you could pull this off, depending. Everyone's situation is different, but they're talking about a 20-foot expandable prefab house delivered on a flatbed truck for around $15,900. And when some people see that and see that, they're like, you're talking a whole I want to see this. A whole house here. They know it's not going to be huge, but like, it's got the kitchen spot, bathroom spot, bedroom spot, little living room spot. Again, it's not huge, but for $15,900, it's got all. It's a house. It's got all the extremities. Looks like one's got the windows, all the doors. They're these prefab houses. Live, work out of. They actually got a couple places around here. There's one off of like 15 or something like that. That has a bunch. There's several. They customize them. They'll make them how you want them. You can see here they got a two-story house. It looks like the one they're selling for $15,900. It's just a single story. But you can switch that up. You can add options, this and that, change things up. For someone looking for like, a quick, affordable way to be able to get into something to think about. Around here, I know if you go looking, I've noticed there's a lot of you see properties that are up that may be like a quarter acre or half acre or something, and they'll have water already there, like a spigot running or a well, and I don't know, it's just natural gas hookups and things like that. You can find properties and setups, man, that they have some stuff out there. Set one of these on it and you'd be kind of good to go. Here's another one. They got a different one down here. They don't... Let me see if it's about as big as they'll make the picture. They had small pictures here. It was hard to... So here's another one for $21,800. Looks almost smaller than the other one, to be honest with you. And you're talking with everything. It's got AC. It's got an air conditioner hanging off of it. All this stuff. But I'll say this. These days, if you're looking for a setup here, you don't even need to... If you're worried about energy, a house like this, you could heat and cool this with one mini split. One mini split would heat and cool this whole thing. A mini split that would run off its own solar panels. Take 6 solar panels off these new mini splits. That's where technology's at, guys. And yes, as long as the sun's shining throughout the winter, it's kicking out heat. Sun's shining in the summer, it's blasting AC. You add a battery bank to that, and you've got whatever overnight. But I would always go with a wood-burning stove or something like that for heat. Because heating elements drain batteries big time. And you don't want to do that. I'm just telling you from experience. If you're going off-grid, you're like, oh, I'm going to get this big, huge off-grid setup. And solar and be set up. It can handle this and that. Well, there's certain things that will tax the system, and if you're smart, you won't. You try to mitigate that. Like try to put your dryer in your stove on a gas line and just get a gas tank filled up for the year, and go that route, and save your batteries instead of frying them. Okay, so I'm just saying a lot of people send me a ton of questions. I made a whole series about surviving off grid. A whole series. Took the time, all of it, throughout these years, all these videos, all these different episodes. And after dropping the first episode, it's like there's creeps. Now I couldn't drop anymore. So I'll just say because of creeps. You need to get into specifics, but anyhow, keep it pushing. Gold. A new record high. And they're saying that this is signaling a fragmenting global system. When you start to see everyone buying it up like this, it's pretty much a sign something huge is about to happen. Globally to the monetary system, the money system. And that would affect us big time because our currency is the global reserve currency. It is the almighty dollar, which isn't almighty at all. It's only worth 1% of what it was ever made to be. Certified health coach. Romans and John. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. Much love. Thank you for the super chat. Try to get over here to the screen real quick where I can see it better. There we go. Go hard on that. I've told you, I feel like a stuck record when it comes to gold and silver. I've told you. And silver's now lifted off, and we'll just go take a peek here real quick. Gold price. Gold. Running. Gold running. 27.25, huh? Off this chart. It's probably doing a pullback here if we look at it at a closer. All right, so it went up to 27.40 and flatlined. We've got a 27.25 here. Let me go down. Let's do the daily. Okay, that's the better. Okay, so it looks like we went up. We tested 27.60. It looks like silver is trying to follow it now. Now, they were not correlated before. They weren't. They were not correlated before. Now, all of a sudden, they are. Silver was kind of doing its own thing when we looked at the chart. Now they're almost identical. So, if silver just tops on the back right now and follows gold on up and stays with it, it's gonna eventually run into a 49.50 all-time high wall, and that will be the next benchmark. But dude, that's $50. When we break $50 in silver, expect it to like surge a little bit. Everything does past the wall. It usually does, even if it pulls back after that. It may go up towards 60. That's double your money on silver right now. There's not many places on the planet right now that can guarantee you doubling your money in a pretty quick amount of time, tax-free. I don't care who you are, you need to stop and think about this. Because once these windows close up, you ain't never going to get them again. Okay? I've told you, and I've told you, and I've told you, and I've told you, and I've told you. Hopefully some of you bought the gold and the silver and like you just forgot about it. Buy some more. forgot about it. Walk back to a surprise here one day. Opening up your vault, you're safe. Like, oh crap, I forgot about it. Yeah. When this $2,700 gold is breaking 2,000 by 2030, but again, that's going to come with the destruction of our dollar. Here's one for you. Big, as they got here, massive lithium deposit found in southwestern Arkansas. I can't stress to you enough how big is this, man. Like, watch out for like New Madrid to come unzipped here any minute, or big earthquakes, storms to hit this area and wipe it out and decimate it, just like we've seen here with every other place. Right, all the roads leading to this mine, or this area where these deposits are. Train has not left the station, Ryder says. It hasn't yet. Look at this, though. This massive lithium find. I mean, look at everything that they were just targeting inside of Florida, inside the Carolinas. How we talked about the mines. Listen to this. They estimate between 5 and 19 million tons of lithium in this region. The definition of a gold mine. They say that this far exceeds the current worldwide demand. Do you understand how much that is? This is a critical mineral. Absolutely critical. And critical to batteries and the whole thing and where we're at right now. Wow. So this just erased all of our need to have anything imported from China when it comes to lithium. This just changed the freaking game. You're probably going to see the price of this stuff come down to peanuts. I'm not kidding you. A whole new technological era is got to break through here at some point. Okay? But this is going to replace imports, and it has implications for employment, for manufacturing, for supply chain resilience, and for us to have a resource that God gave us underneath of our feet that we can use for ourselves independently, not depend on no one else, or sell it around the world and make some money, okay? God-given natural resources. These are the blessings, I'm telling you, that anyone that goes out there and buys a chunk of land, boy, if you have land down in Arkansas right now, anywhere in this region, or know someone that does, oh boy, I'd be calling them. My wheels are spinning right now that I'm thinking about it. I've even got family that lives down there. I don't know exactly where, but I know my dad said that. If you have friends or family that are sitting on this massive gold mine, this is insane. This is, you don't see this every day. You do not see this of this magnitude, especially a critical mineral like lithium. This massive, it's like mind-boggling. But it just goes to show that at any moment, anywhere out there, they can find anything. Yeah. They could find anything. Remember, if I recall right, also in Arkansas, we drove down there years ago. There was a cold snap here, and we went to the Crater of Diamonds Park down there, and we went looking for diamonds, and it was so unique. It's the only place, they say, I think, in the world you can go look for diamonds like it. The only place in the U.S. for sure, and it was pretty cool. We didn't find any diamonds, but the experience was cool. I would go back again. It's worth a day trip with the family, or just researching and getting out there and trying your luck. Some people find some big diamonds. So, I mean, Arkansas, big diamonds, lithium deposits now. Come on. Just saying, man, any of you out there could have these resources underneath you. All right. Let's jump up to Canada real quick. It seems that Trudeau is going down like the path Biden did in terms of unlikability, getting thrown under the bus by his own party, where his own party is pressuring him to resign. So I would say at this point, get ready for a new face for Canada. Not sure who or what it's going to be, but it's because he's deeply unpopular. Like, at some point, you have got to have half of the people out there, or at least a chunk, like, falling for it still. Nobody's falling for his stuff. Matter of fact, he's pissed just about everybody off. Everybody just wants him gone. So they're sick of him. The abandoned Fidel Castro's son here. He is a tyrant. I mean, at this point, I put him above Castro on a tyrant list. Come on. Yeah, he's a World Economic Forum stooge for sure. He's definitely right there. That's what he is. It's what he represents. But the stooge only works for so long, right? Yeah, this world is only temporary. And so are positions when you're in here, especially in the political realm. So next year's elections. So next year, right behind ours coming up, is going to be Canada's. We'll see where they take this. All right. Staying with the politics here. Tulsi Gabbard announcing a switch to the GOP. It's like, man, boy, did we not see this one coming from 1,000 miles away? Oh, yeah, we did. Remember, she left the Democratic Party a couple years ago. And she was like, right then, it was kind of like, all right, she's making her move. They were dressing her in white. And she even debated Kamala head on and smoked her. I'll give her that. Just torched her. That was before they even announced Kamala was gonna. What's up, cannons? But she was on the World Economic Forum thing too. And when we busted it and called it out and all this other stuff, they actually went as far as to try to remove her from that website to save face in one of their stooges. But too bad. We don't know what she's about. If you forgot, it was the last election, she showed how she would operate. She totally bashed Biden 100%, was saying all this, you got to toe the line, this and that, toe the line. Turned around and toed the line and backed Biden. In the whole thing. So it's like, man, I don't know, man. I don't trust like none of these goons, but it feels like they're all jumping on the Trump train, if you will. And yeah, man, it's like rock star status. Everyone's like, I'm not missing this ticket. I'm not getting slandered and spit on by the people. They like it too much to walk out on stage and hear the roar of a crowd versus death threats or people throwing stuff at you and booing you. So she's tasted the other side. She's like, no, I'm tasting this side now. That's what she's doing. And she's gonna walk this route for the rest of her way. Tulsi switching to the GOP. Flip flopper, huh? Here's one. Laura Loomer. Well, Bill Maher just got loomered. Look, I don't care too much for Laura, man. Look, it doesn't matter how I personally feel about her. She does good reporting out there. Should she present herself as being a certain way sometimes? Yeah, because I know some things in circles where I'm at, where I come from, people I know. I ran these streets for years, and she's just popped up on the scene here just in the past couple. Well, since the last election, and blown up since then, big time, in all these circles, really close to Trump. And Bill Maher turned around and said, she banged him. And Bill Maher, man, this dude, he's a character in his own right. But she's suing him for $150 million. I mean, not just a couple, $150 million. Okay, so I guess, go big or go home. We'll see here what happens with this, but who the judges are going to be, if they're going to be Trump appointed or not, I don't know. Game does change. Trump gets in there. Just from the political side, all those people on the other side, some do have some things to worry about, especially when people are going down, like P. Diddy's and all this stuff. Epstein lists need to be exposed. We'll get to that by the end of the stream. I couldn't fit that in the title. All right. In terms of the politics here, some of these states are being just flat out unlawful. They're getting caught red-handed, cheating per se, blatantly, in the most obvious ways. Michigan, for instance, their voter rolls, meaning what they're claiming to be is their total amount of voters there, is 8.4 million voters. But there's a big problem there. There's less than 8 million residents there that are even eligible to vote. This is a huge problem. Elon Musk called out this whole thing and kind of caught him with the pants down with this whole thing, for real. They're kind of like they don't know what to say or do about it now. They're trying to scramble. Now, political season right now, they're going to start running hit pieces and even making stuff up. Well, apparently, The Atlantic ran this story about this military woman and her sister and tried to slander the whole thing, slander Trump, saying that he made up this racist comment, outraged when he learned that he was going to pay for a funeral for this fallen soldier. When he learned it was $60,000, but this was all a lie. He says that it doesn't cost $60,000 to bury an effing Mexican. This is what they published. This is the lies and the stuff that they create and what they published. Now, this girl, the survivor here, she's like, she's going on the record saying no, that Trump and them, they never did none of that, said anything like they paid for everything, and this is pure slander. And she's going after the Atlantic, saying that you guys are just boldly lying, like with garbage. What do you expect? It's the mainstream. You might recall on the last stream I talked about Polym Market. Polym Market is this betting site globally where you can bet on things like sports and the election. But this is what's weird about it. There's all this talk about it. I even seen Theo Vaughn trying to talk about it, but he didn't talk about the factual basis here. I seen Mark Cuban talk about it, and he actually divulged the goods on it. He said he was divested in a crypto fund that was tied into it, and that he did not think that this poll, this Trump poll showing Trump winning or up 62% or 60% to Kamala's 36% now, that it meant anything in terms of the election, because these weren't American people. These weren't American voters. Someone, thank you for the 5 coffees. And it's all God. Appreciate it all. All the love, all the support, shares, prayers, to the fullest. But Cuban's saying that this is, look, Americans cannot bet on this site. Okay, so let's start there. That means it's outside people that don't live here that are just betting on it. So he made that kind of clear. So then Theo Vaughn must have been ignorant to this information. He's on there trying to talk like, well, this is indicative to me. People are putting their money where their mouth is, and he was lacking the information, or he must not have realized it. Americans can't bet on this. So his whole theory was wrong. If anyone went over and corrected him on this, if you still don't know, or what, but maybe you heard about this one. Elon Musk giving away $1 million a day to try to promote the signing of a petition. I think he gave away a few million on record thus far. And I tweeted on this earlier, and this leaves you scratching your head. The DOJ warns Musk, and they say that your $1 million a day giveaway might violate federal law. It might. How can it be it might? Either it does or it does not. And being the federal government, they should full well know what the answer to this is. Hands down, they should know. There's no maybes, no mights. I mean, if it does, show. Show us the art. Show us where, what law, what it does. They're not doing that. They're not doing that. Which is very odd. It's almost showing that the DOJ, just threatening him with whatever. It's like, come with some goods, with some proof. I'm sure he's saying the same thing. Show me the proof. What federal law is it violating? Show me the law. You see? And all this is coming from it's based on an anonymous source. So, get out of here, man. It looks like Kamala also has declared war on Elon and Twitter, or call it X, if you will. And this whole thing is being tied into the UK and others, because the UK has been sending people over here to promote Kamala, which is treasonous. They shouldn't even be allowed to do that in the law. We're going to look at that here in a minute. But they keep saying this. They keep saying that if Kamala gets in there, they're going after X, and they're tearing it down. They're going after him and dismay. It's hold on. She's in there right now. Does everybody just keep forgetting this? Yeah, man, that's just black magic at its finest. All these people. So Trump, getting paraded around, rock star status as always, and he's going on the Joe Rogan show. So Friday, he'll be on Rogan, get shilled out over there. all that good stuff. Not like he needs it, but it is that time. We've got less than 2 weeks, so he'll be making all the stops. And here we go with the Wisconsin Election Agency confirming that they had system outages on the first day of early voting. Crazy. So people were waiting several hours to vote on Tuesday. Some people just left work to get out and had to get back or had other things to do. They waited as long as they could, but then left because of this. They're saying because of system lags, so to speak, tied into this. Some election clerks experiencing a period of slowness. They later resolved these problems, but it was periodic outages that were going down. I mean, if you guys are having any issues out there, let me know. Say it. Let us know in the chat there. Diva, much love. Carolyn, thank you for the super chat. Much love. I can only imagine here that this is going on, and I know it is. We've reported it. All the stuff already happening in Texas or Tennessee, in other places where they're printing out their things and it wasn't matching. Here we go. Trump filing a formal complaint of election interference against the UK Labour Party. And this is legitimate. I say that this is 100. And that this is big. Like, they want to keep going after him, saying this and that. But like, this is real. Okay? He filed this complaint with the Federal Election Commission of the FEC on October 21st. Okay? It's 2 days ago. Citing media reports here which show that strategists linked to Britain's Labour Party have been offering advice to Kamala about how to earn back voters and how to win this whole thing. These are what they call strategic meetings. It's citing a now deleted LinkedIn post from Sophia Patel, head of operations at the Labour Party, who wrote that nearly 100 current former Labour Party staff would be traveling to the U.S. in the coming weeks to help elect Harris. So once they knew that she posted this and it was trouble, they deleted it. And she says, we will sort out your housing. So they're bringing all these people over. It's exposed right there. And that's it. So let's check the script. All right? Under federal law, foreign nationals are prohibited from directly or indirectly making contributions, donations, expenditures, including independent expenditures, or disbursements in connection with any federal, state, or local election. Okay? Flat out, bottom line, right there. Okay? That's it. He wins it. Okay? Foreign national is described as, in the law, as an individual who is not a citizen of the United States and does not have lawful permanent residence here. Okay? Or a foreign principal such as a foreign government or political party. So Trump's lawyers argue such support amounts to contributions from foreign actors in violation of U.S. campaign finance laws. Dude, I'm telling you, they've got them here. They've got them here, and they're doing it openly, which I just can't understand. Like, they're not being low-key, or they're just that arrogant. They think they can get away with everything is how I take it. Like, who's going to stop us at this point? Well, he's filed the complaint, but again, it's like, who's going to take this up? A liberal or a conservative judge? Like, it's ridiculous. It's shenanigans. So, Kamala Harris, she seems to be coming unglued. Literally. She's just, you could tell that she's struggling to do all this. All these interviews are disasters. And her and her team grab an already debunked hoax from the Atlantic again. To attack Trump here. Sorry about that. Muted the mic there. She says that Trump would invoke Adolf Hitler. It's what she says, and this was something that they've already debunked, but yet, I guess they did not do any research on this or anything whatsoever, and they just ran with it and pushed it. So I'm just going to play you the piece here. It's just hard to believe that they didn't. It's all over the place. This has already been debunked.
So yesterday we learned that Donald Trump's former chief of staff, John Kelly, a retired 4-star general, confirmed that while Donald Trump was president, he said he wanted generals like Adolf Hitler had. Donald Trump said that because he does not want a military that is loyal to the United States Constitution. He wants a military that is loyal to him. He wants a military who will be loyal to him personally, one that will obey his orders even when he tells them to break the law or abandon their oath to the Constitution of the United States. In just the past week, Donald Trump has repeatedly called his fellow Americans the enemy from within, and even said that he would use the United States military to go after American citizens.
Can you see these bold-faced lies? Look, if Donald Trump was trying to use the U.S. military to come after everyday citizens like us, I'd be the first to tell you. If that's what he's out there talking and saying, and I'd be showing you him saying it. But I can't, because he didn't. What he did say is that they were going to be rounding up these illegals and sending them out en masse. But they do not consider them illegals. Do you understand that? They see them as the new citizens. So she's speaking to them. She's speaking to them, not us. They don't see us as the rightful citizens here. They're bringing in the replacements. And see, we're voting for their enemy, so to speak, up here. For Trump is how they see it. The people are. This is how it comes down to. It all comes down to this, man. You gotta see it. You gotta see the Trump's packing stadiums. Insane. It's like they're making sure that everyone sees it. How can you miss it? They have a few busloads of people they gotta keep bussing around all the same places. And Trump's just organically going into fresh towns and states and cities, and it's the people there coming out. It is. Now, I tell you all the time, it's a left-right paradigm, and it's the truth. It's the illusion of choice. But I'm also going to tell you that when it comes to your people, your American people, they're voting for Donald Trump. I mean, I don't even think you have to cast a vote. Just take a picture of the crowds. Just be like, oh, there's like 10 people at the Biden or Kamala thing. Okay, we'll give you 100. We're just going to round it up to 100. While Trump is holding out 100,000. So just go take a picture of the stadium full. Like, there it is. It says it. It speaks for itself. Don't even need to waste time. It speaks for itself. But that's too obvious. Just like the thumbs down on YouTube. They had to remove. Because it was too obvious. Sometimes there's little glitches in the matrix, little ways that you can see the truth that shines through. What's this next one? This is CNN. They're basically saying that Trump is doing better with independents than in 2020. And that's the type of movement that Donald Trump loves to see. And they're basically kind of, I don't know, they're not dissing him as hard as last time I've noticed. A lot of these people involved. KY Mountain, much love, God bless, thank you for the coffee. Sending prayers. I got a clip here. I'm going to show you. You talk about a Karen. We'll talk about a Karen. Negative Nancy. Whatever you want to call them. People in the neighborhood going around knocking on your door or kicking down your signs. Like bothering you because they know you're voting for Trump or think you're voting for Trump or whatever. It's like it's only the Biden side that does this. Like, for the most part. Like, I haven't seen a clip from the other way. But I've seen a ton of these people from the left kicking the Trump signs, trying to run them over, and even getting flat tires because people are getting smart and putting spikes underneath them. In this, doing what this lady does. I'm gonna blow this up. You can see how she just loses it all. Rather comical here, though. It pays to have one of these cameras up, one of these ring cams, I guess, if you live in an area like this, so you can catch this type of action.
Hi. I want to know how you can vote.
We can't answer the door right now, but if you'd like to leave a message, you can do it now.
Shameful.
Are you the one that walks by here and always screaming at people?
No, I haven't walked by recently.
Okay, because a lot of people walk by and scream.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. You are voting for the devil. Don't you know that?
No.
Why are you voting for him?
Because I believe he is the moral candidate.
Oh, my God. F you for that one.
That's
moral?
exactly right. That's how your side acts.
Oh, my God.
That's
He's
how
the
you
most
guys...
immoral person around.
In your opinion, that's
Oh,
okay.
you.
I'm sorry. Have a nice day. Have a nice day. God bless you.
Now, again, if you get one of these to come up to your door, you better have cameras rolling. You're going to wish you did. I don't know. That right there is enough for me to save up and put a gate up or a fence or a gate or something that can't just walk straight on up to your porch like that. Or if you get a kick out of it, like I said, some people have been putting Trump signs out in their yard with a camera on it in places like this, like neighborhoods where there's houses stacked right on top of one another, left and right, and dozens of neighbors. They put spikes in the bottom or just nails or whatever on a piece of wood, holding the sign up. Let the grass grow up a little bit around it. We can't see it. And these people are running them over and catching karma. And thank you for that, Jay Bear. Thank you for the coffee and that info. Go back and soak that one up here later after the show and see what all you was speaking on right there. Much love. I think I showed you last time how they were bringing out all these people to vote for Kamala. They're really attacking the black man. They're going after the black man. And you might have noticed the other day that they were struggling to get anyone to come out and speak for Kamala. This was last week. They pulled some people's cards. We all know Usher is front and center of this whole P. Diddy thing. Oh, and you guarantee he's in some videos. Well, Usher either comes out and toes the line for the establishment here, or he gets thrown under the bus and his name leaks out into the headlines. See, if he would have turned down speaking for Kamala, if he would have already done it and turned it down, it would have already been leaked out on him. It's one way or the other. You're either working for the beast or you're not. And they've all sold into this. So there's only one way out. Okay, they brought out Eminem, and that was so cringe, seeing Obama sitting there singing Eminem's verse to try to bring him out, and then Eminem coming out. But that's not a surprise. I mean, Eminem, for the better part of a decade, had the same image of him throwing the horns up on his head. He probably still does on one of his accounts out there. Putting his hand up like horns, the devil horns, on his head, and he's kept it like that for all these years. That's his allegiance. It's always been well known. He's definitely sold out to the beast. So that's why Eminem's on the stage. It was in Detroit. So, come on, it was his hometown. So, that was a gimme for them. So, Eminem doesn't seem to care that you see it or that you know it or anything like that. But others, I don't know. But I see him going after all these people, man, trying to just convince it. When they're bringing out Eminem and got Obama, they're trying to pander to this whole, crowd of people. It's just like sickening. But that's what they do. Just remember this. Remember what these people do. Because I don't forget the celebrities that came out during lockdowns and the scam and were promoting it and pushing it. I don't forget. I don't forget. Okay? For instance, like Juvenile, the rapper, they released a song, you better jab that ass up and all that, right? It was actually Vax, but DC, wow, thank you for the super chat. Huge, man. Huge. Thank you so much. They came out saying they switched their old song up, back that ass up, to Vax that ass up. And it was just like, oh my gosh. And then I seen Rage Against the Machine, Zach De La Rocca and all that, like, raging for the machine. It was just like sickening to see all these characters that were sold out to the beast, even the ones that basically came up, made their name off of fighting against the system and the beast. It pisses me off. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Wow. Yeah, DCBS, man, coming through salutes. Thank you, big time. I ain't seen one like that. Man. Yeah, so keep it going here. Again, they're going to pull everybody out on the stage to try to sell this thing. The question is if Trump does win it outright, will these demon rats accept it? Or do they got something up their sleeve? Well, of course they do. We know that they've got Section 3 of the 14th Amendment that, I almost want to call her Hillary, that Kamala is going to pull, because she is vice president. She is the one that certifies the election. Okay? That's just like Mike Pence when he certified it. And she's going to have to say that Trump won. And I just do not believe that woman's going to do this. I do not believe she's going to do it at this point. Things could change. Who knows? If everything that she talks against him, that he needs to be in jail, all this stuff, that he's a threat, all this stuff. How could she dare, if she believed that, let him be president? And when her whole party would be screaming at her to not do it. Like, I don't know. Time's ticking away, boy. Less than 2 weeks away. But I'll say this, it may not even be over in 2 weeks. This thing could be drug out for quite some time. In Georgia, they've admitted that it could take up to the following Friday to get in all these votes. Oh, and I'll jump into some details of that here in just a second. First, let me just play this quick clip here of Biden doing what Biden does best. This is a guy in a mask at this point. He's saying we got to lock Trump up. So our sitting president making these comments right now. And that's really what they're going to try to go after. And Kamala said it as well. But we'll let you hear it from him.
It sounds like I said this 5 years ago, you'd lock me up. We got to lock him up. Politically lock him up.
Politically lock him up. He can barely say it. He can barely say it. And I'm sorry, but this guy right here, and Joseph Robinette Biden, in this picture here, it's not this guy in this video. I don't know how long or where he went, or if they offed him, or if he died of heart attack or whatever. I don't know what happened to the original. I don't know what happened to the OG Biden. But for the longest time, you could tell by so many different characteristics that it's not him. It's something else going on. It's definitely fraudulent. Oh, maybe you guys saw that clip I tweeted out of the... Matter of fact, let me go over here and look at this. I gotta pull this up. If you guys didn't see this, I gotta show it because I got a lot of stuff over here on the Twitter feed actually I need to show. If you guys didn't see it, trying to find it here. I'm scrolling. Here it is. All right. I swear to you, and you can go look at this in better detail on my page for yourself. But this whole thing looks green screened. And I had other people look at it and come back to me and they're like, oh yeah. And they bring up all types of other stuff as hairlines and all these things, and that the crowd's too dark. It's all these things that don't match up. But I noticed watching just around Kamala, because look, man, I'm a live streamer. Got all kinds of friends, and go watch High Res over on D Live one night. You'll see the same effect around him, because he uses these backdrops and all the stuff all the time, and he looks the same way. And I'm used to seeing him this way. It's very subtle, but when you have the eyes to see. Robson, much love. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm going to play this clip and just watch.
And I got to tell you, I can't wait to debate the guy.
It seems so fake. And what's crazy is we haven't seen any crowds, even the one Obama just held at that school. We have not seen any crowds this size that they're showing behind them. Any of the people that we know that went there on foot and have got pictures and images, the gymnasium that they just held this in, that Obama went to, they didn't even let down the rafters. So I'm telling you, man, I don't know. I start to think of all these things, and the whole thing here looked green screen. Again, go over there and watch it, and thank you, Adam, for the 10 coffees. Yes, we fight now. more than ever. You've got that right, brother. It's time. Yep. Yep. Oh, I gotta get. I'm gonna get to some of these other stories here. I just showed you that. Let me see if I got anything else here in my timeline. Yeah, might as well play this.
Our country will, for example, at some point face a major cyber event.
Justice Department officials warn terrorists have said openly they want to use electronic attacks to do as much damage as possible to American infrastructure.
This comes as a new report predicts that there's a catastrophic cyber attack likely causing significant losses of life and money by the year 2025.
2025. That's why I put it like that. You understand? 2025 is just a couple months away. We are in a window by 2025. Look, I told you it's 2020. And look, history, my work, the videos that I put out there speaks for itself. You can go back and you can see it, you can find it, and it's there. I told you in 2020 that Bill Gates was telegraphing to us. They did it multiple times. All these all the billionaires were getting interviewed, and they were asked, when's the next big event going to happen? What are you preparing for? This and that. 2025 is what popped up every time. That is what I set my sights to prepare everything for, and to make sure that I've got as much as everything that I can locked in before then. And really, in hindsight, when you look at the whole thing, the election sitting right there in front of it, come on. This is, yeah. So this whole time, all these past 4 years, I've grinded and busted my ass to make sure that I survive what's about to happen. I hope you did too. You sleep on it and slack. Thank you, Rambler. Got your silver tonight? You might want to get it. Silver and gold going to be the way to go. Oh, man. I'm going to play this clip. You listen here. And these are updates. Just, I got to just throw them all out there. These are just in my timeline. These are just different things. This is North Carolina. These are people on the ground walking there. And let me tell you, the stories that I'm getting out of there are nothing short of just horrific. And I'm going to play a couple clips here. But this one is where a resident is walking through the area, through the region of town where houses were. And they start gagging because it smells horrible. And you can see mounds of dirt. And there's crosses stuck in it, and it's people. It's people. Obviously that are in them. And these people can't even stomach it and have to run off. This is insane. This is what's really happening. It will sit there and tell you 213 people. Garbage. Garbage, man. I've shown you clip after clip after clip of people talking about thousands of body bags that have been sent in there. That's ridiculous.
Like rotting. Really bad. Oh shit. Is this for real? Oh, it smells so bad. But I'm gonna go up here. Ugh. You guys, I had to walk away. It's really stinky.
Okay, so that's pretty much that clip. I mean, it speaks for itself again, and it's just prayers go out to every soul dealing with this down there, because I'm telling you now, it happened here. There's people that are sleeping in tents, they're living in tents. These nights are getting cold, especially in the mountains. They're getting cold, closer and closer to freezing. They've already dipped down there once. And these people have lost everything, loved ones, neighbors. They're trying to tell you, it's a couple hundred people. I mean, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You got that right, Uncommon. Every bit of an attack. But it's been that. With the weather being weaponized. Bill Gates looking to stand trial in the Netherlands in November. Oh boy. Ordered to pay legal costs as the Dutch court dismisses jurisdiction claim. This is fitting to get interesting. If they're closing in on them, the whole thing will go down before they do. Okay? Now, I'm going to play this clip. This guy explains right here that they are putting up another fence around the White House. I'm just going to let him explain this.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, because just recently Merrick Garland and the DOJ have announced they're going to erect the fence around the Capitol on January 5th through the 21st. That goes right before they certify the votes for the election on January.
Did you hear that? I'm stopping it, and then we'll continue. I just want you to marinate on that for a second. Think about that for a minute. January 5th, the day before everything goes into certification. January 6th, the whole thing, this demonic freaking thing was geared toward. They set the seeds on it a year in advance. Okay, with the whole thing, with the whole stage thing. And they're adding to it. When they have these dates, there's a dark magic they connect to it. Okay? They even did it with 9/11. It was a decade to the day. George W. Bush Sr. talking about 1,000 points of light. This is heavy occult crap, man. I hope you see it at some point. Let it go.
On the Capitol on January 5th through the 21st. That goes right before they certify the votes for the election on January 6th, and it goes past Inauguration Day. So certainly are they projecting that there could be some type of uprising. I look at it from this point of view. I think they're setting this thing up for the steal. That's my opinion. And they're trying to protect themselves from the next, January 6th event. But to your point, around the cities in the country, we saw exactly what the radical left did to Washington, D.C. on Inauguration Day for President Trump. They damn nearly burnt the city down here in D.C. So it's a very interesting situation that's Washington, D.C. on cities in the country. We saw exactly what the radical left did to Washington, D.C. on Inauguration Day for President Trump. They damn nearly burnt the city down here in D.C. So it's a very interesting situation that's developing. I will say this, there's some of the tone here today. It has been Christ is King, Jesus is Lord. That has been the tone from the get-go ever since this conference started. Also, one of the things they're telling people to do is check your ballot after you vote to make sure that printout matches what you put into the computer.
Okay, he summed it up pretty good right there. They gave us some key information that they're going to erect this fence that's going to go up on the 5th. It's going to last through Inauguration Day. Now, He just said that the left, I repeated it. Last time the left almost burnt down D.C., I was there, front line. Yeah, they busted out the windows in a limousine, were catching everything on fire. I got all the video footage. It's where they threw the cops came up, crept up behind us, threw flashbangs right at me while I was streaming. We got the clips, got it all. Even through the music video. All that chaos, back and forth, rocks and bricks being thrown, people dropping left and right around you. It's nuts. It's like a war zone. Getting pepper sprayed and hit with all these different chemicals. I was there, front line. That was the factions of BLM at the time. And I don't know, I had to really stop him to sit there and think about it when he said that. Like, what? What do you mean? When did that happen? And I'm like, well, I was there, frontline center. Yeah, I'll never forget. When we heard huge explosions going off in D.C., me and Eric took off running right toward it. Everybody and their mom was running the other way. We were running through them just like ninjas. It was so crazy. It's what we do. It's what I feel we were born to do. It's like we're going to die in any time. It's going to be the day we had this adrenaline rush. We had all of our gear on. We were just running right toward where the explosions came from. And we got up there and it was pure chaos. And they used stingrays. They knocked down all of our streams and everything else. So we're in there like in a war zone. No comms, no communications. You're getting chemicaled. You're getting chemical sprayed. It's nuts, man. Makes me want to go again. I swear, it does. I hate DC. I told myself last time I was there, I'll never go back in it. Because of the setups. And thank God I never did, because if I would have, well, it could have potentially been J6. You seen what happened there. It's all set up in there. When you cross that bridge and you go into DC, you're in the devil's playground, man. You're in a whole different district, and it's true. It's the truth. We went as far as even staying across the river in Crystal City, and not even staying up in that demonic place. Yeah. It should be interesting. Interesting to see. I know that I didn't go to no Biden inauguration. I didn't do none of that. I don't know how that went down. But I know that I did not report on Trumpers causing any chaos. The only thing that had any kind of chaos attached to it was what they had pulled off on J6. That was it. I don't know. It's a pro-Palestine movement. They did just rear their head here recently. I'm sure I've heard rumors they're in town. We'll see. I can only imagine that if, say, on election night into that next morning, it's telegraphed, especially the next morning, that Trump's the winner, but they're still gathering votes or something crazy. It could be enough to set the left in motion, a bunch of staged crap. For several days, some chaos goes down. But what's the worst they've ever done? They've busted some windows and tried the Molotov cocktails in places, catching places on fire. They did it in Ferguson. They did it in D.C. They did it all over these places I've been to. Baltimore. I was with teams. I went down and met militia in Ferguson that were on the roofs that were catching the Molotovs. They had buckets of water up there. They had guns and everything else, but they weren't wanting to use them or anything like that. But they were strategically catching these Molotovs and because they weren't glass, they were throwing them in plastic bottles instead, and putting them out. I don't know, man. What do What do you guys think? Think they're going to burn down D.C.? Who would that benefit? If they burnt down D.C., who would that benefit? It would only benefit them. It would hide all the crime, wouldn't it? The paper trails, all that.
And
even if they got nuked, if D.C. got hit, it would only benefit them. It really would. All right, so I'm going to play a clip. This is of a guy dealing with cleaning up down in Carolinas. Here you go.
I don't love the fact that these areas are being bulldozed over the top of, but I also don't know how one would even begin to remediate that. They're going to be finding bodies from this thing for 1,000 years, probably. And it's not 213 people, the official number who died. I know of one location in Swannanoa, North Carolina that went through 10 to 12,000 body bags. 10 to 12,000. And so it begs the question, why? Why is this not being reported? And that's an indicator of how far this great nation has fallen. And the last thing I'll say to you, because I'm going to have to jump, brother, is we have to do a much better job of differentiating between the beast system of the federal government and the American people. The American people are by and large incredible. The amount of resilience and ingenuity and brotherly love that I have observed in the last 3 weeks in Appalachia is stunning. And I'll tell you this too. Our God is God, and he is incredibly real. And he was meeting needs in the moment as we were praying and asking him for things. Literally in the moment, they were arriving. You know, ask whatever you ask for my glory, and my name shall be given unto you.
Man, look, you know that's not the first person I've brought on here and shown you that put up for you guys to see that they're not lying, man. They're not lying. Prayers, again, going out to all my people out there. Well, here we go. Maricopa County election officials admit it could take 2 weeks to tabulate the election results. So, this is what it's all about from here, large scale. 2 weeks. This is in Arizona, Maricopa County. So we've talked about situation in Michigan, situation in North Carolina, Georgia, Maricopa County now, Arizona, Pennsylvania, all these battleground states. So now it's going to take 2 weeks to tabulate these results. 10 to 13 days is what they're estimating. And they're calling for patience. Some other people are like, since when? Like this, the last one, when Biden got a record number of votes? Because, see, that's how you know it was a lie. Let's look at these things, man. And do you think in this environment, a record number of people are going to vote for Kamala? Get out of here. Well, I mean, what is everyone going to do if they give you Kamala? I mean, really, I think it's really, it's going to be the elite saying, look, you idiots, you peons. We shoved it in your face last time, and you just sat there and you did nothing. Like, do you even got any fight in you? Like, we're going to see, because we're going to kill you regardless. But we're going to give you a chance to actually fight. And if you don't, you're just going to die anyway. This is how their sick minds work, man. This is fitting to be one heck of a show. Kamala saying that her team of lawyers is prepared if Trump declares victory early. So, Everyone's going to be glued to the TV and the mainstream. They control the mainstream. You know? And look, they say the election tabulation could drag on for days, if not weeks. So here it is again. They're telling... All right. Yeah. Hopefully people can get a refresh there. We can keep it pushing. Okay, the smoke's seen it pretty quick. Yeah, it did that for a second. It totally went out and come back in. Yeah, I suppose it's gonna buffer bad when it's completely out, but it does it rather quick. If it stayed out, then I'd tell you. But it come back rather quick. It should make a noise too. I would think that you guys hear it in the stream, but I don't know. But here's the big. It's crazy how it does it when I get right to the big information. Really, the biggest information of it. I didn't even want to spell it all out in the title because I felt like when I dropped the video on it, it was getting attacked. Just because I know what it feels like to get attacked. And it's what it feels like when this is spoke about. We have uncovered there is going to be a massive drill on Election Day. There's really nothing bigger than this. Some of the trolls came in and like, it's not even a drill, it's a conference. It's like, you're stupid. Yeah, there's a conference too, but you're trying to deflect and you're rather obviously shilling. There is a drill. There's a massive exercise on Election Day. And to send your trolls in to try to deflect in such a dumb demeanor is just, it's ridiculous. It shows me they're doing this. They only do this when there's a high operation underway. And I'm telling you, I got the feelers on it. I see it. I know it. Front line. Before anyone else does. Because of what I do. I'm telling you. Okay, so this is described as a large-scale interactive event. Do you understand this? Okay? With participants from the feds, state, county, city, academia, all over. The exercise is going to simulate a cyber attack on our critical infrastructure. Point blank. If you trolls trying to say that it's not. Yeah, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is, right off their site. Okay? This is to test responses to attacks on large infrastructures. Quite odd to schedule it on Election Day, right? They're all going to be sitting there, running an exercise on this. They were doing this on 9/11. They sent the planes out to sea. Quite odd to run an exercise simulating a cyber attack on critical infrastructure on Election Day, especially since electronic voting across the nation is a piece of critical infrastructure. If this doesn't have red flags all over it, I think it's about to happen. I think something huge is about to happen. It may be bigger than this. It may be bigger than just this. But this window could begin. Markets tank. It could roll right on into the money sector. People can't get money out of the banks, like I told you time and time again. So the CBDC comes into play. Look, man. I keep finding myself saying I've been doing this a long time. And I keep seeing cycles rearing their head here. And I've seen these. I feel this. I'm shaking my hands. I can feel this is something. Something. Spidey sense is strong on this one. Okay? Like, I can almost guarantee you we're about to see something happen. Even if it starts out, I can guarantee you it's probably going to start off with all these, it's already happening. But I could already see these major complaints trickling in from all over the place, and it just gets to get crazy. They're already trying to say that Iranian hackers, I seen the article, I don't have it pulled up because the website was glitching, and I closed it down. But they're saying 2 Iranian hackers, they've got arrested or something for plotting cyber events. How convenient, right? How convenient. Iran, huh? Can't you see? They just keep planting the seed over and over. War with Iran, man. It's all they're wanting. And they're gearing all this toward that. And where is all this going to be held? In Atlanta. You know, where all this is going to come down to critical stuff. It was the guy in Georgia on the last stream that said it could take till Friday to get these out of the country votes counted. People are like, out of the country? How can this even be legal? Well, here in this circus, in this clown world, it apparently is. So, I'm going to go around the world here real quick on the war fronts and just touch on a few quick things. Hungary's PM saying that the European Union is trying to overthrow his government and install a puppet regime. Interesting. Let's see if that happens in the coming months and all the stuff ahead. If anything happens to Hungary, pulled into anything. Zelensky, for the first time, offers Russia a realistic step toward negotiating a ceasefire. These things happen in cycles. Telling you, listen, Trump, look, Obama fired up Ukraine. It was under Obama and all that. Okay? Trump come in, and like none of that happened anymore. Like Ukraine ceased to exist as a thing. And all that, right? Biden gets back in there. Dems get back in there. They fire the whole thing. Fires up immediately. It's like, oh, if this thing's coming to a close with Trump in there, is it going to match like last time? And they're going to try to bring this. Look, they're never going to stop in Ukraine. You want to know why? Because some of the biggest Lubavitch heads has said on record that this area is to be wiped out so they can make it their new Israel. They're on record. Just go look it up and do it. Do it. It's your homework. Fall down a rabbit hole. You should fall down. See who controls all this manipulation out here. World is a stage, man. So India just struck up a peace deal with China. Now they're buddies, and this isn't good for us because at the BRICS summit, India is a part of it, and they seem to squash their beef, China and India, over their border confrontation. Real talk is what he says. Yep. So then Modi urges a quick, peaceful end to the Ukraine war. Okay, so, Another world leader jumping up out here, suggesting a quick, peaceful end. Trump's even said it. Trump said if he wins, it'll be over before he's even sworn in. That's what his words were. That would end it really, really quick. All this money that's been laundered, sit there, yeah, if that's all coming to an end, yeah. It would. And it would change Zelensky's tune. Especially if he's thinking that Trump's winning this. So, all these guys have a big powwow at BRICS. It is virtually the enemy of the United States. Of our dollar, of our way of life. It is. Xi Jinping, Putin, all the guys that are like going to be on the other side of World War III, Iran, they're all there. And they want this new world order, what they call a fair world order. And it's got to be multipolar, is how they call it, not one huge juggernaut power. No, it's going to be multi-powered. The United States the West can still have a bit of a power structure, but they want something to counter it, and it's BRICS. And it's just the way it is. Xi Jinping calls for war. While everyone's distracted with the election, he is literally called for war. He says, no, troops ready. It's wartime. Prepare for war. Wants them at full heightened combat readiness. They just surrounded Taiwan with drills. 2 days ago, they just sparked live fire drills, real ammunition, in the strait, 60 miles from Taiwan. This could pop at any moment. Trump jumps in the seat, anything. They prefer, it's been said, they prefer Kamala to win in the Biden side, obviously, because Biden's deep in bed with China, if you don't know. Has been. Just look at the track record. Like Mitch McConnell and all these other guns. We've been sold out, literally, to this dude and his empire. And he's Western trained. Yeah, a little puppet of Henry Kissinger. Do your research and homework. World's a stage. It's insane. We control China. Well, not we. Henry Kissinger was a part of us, though. It's not like Xi Jinping is controlled by, like, the Dragon family fully or anything like that. That's not how it is. Henry Kissinger, he went to Western schools, was very good friends with Henry Kissinger, and I'm talking like weird type. Like starting P. Diddy, Bieber type deal here. It's how he was handling him, treating him, and brought him up. And they install him in China, Kissinger and Company, as their man, their protege. So don't get this twisted. This is a setup, staged event, this whole thing. All of it, dude. If for the books, someone's got to be there to help bring the United States down, and China's playing that major role, economically and militarily. It's the Dragon. It is the Dragon. Let me just tell you that some of the new members that are in BRICS are Ethiopia, the United Arab Emirates, Iran, which is a huge one. They're in it now. They will be backed and supported militarily, economically, tooth and nail, to the fullest in this pack with BRICS, no matter what from here. Understand this. Full scale. Guess who else is in there? Egypt, which is very interesting. Okay? So it's this side against Israel. No Israel's on the other side of this coin. I could see you could throw in this BRICS basket like Syria and other places like that, Lebanon. They just haven't applied or been asked to join. Saudi Arabia was asked to join. They just have not responded yet. Argentina rejected the offer. They went the other way. So Saudi Arabia and Egypt. Now, why are they important? Because when it comes to Greater Israel, and what some of these people believe in, openly, on the books, where they want to take this right now, they want this to happen. And for that to happen, that greater area expands. Go look it up on a map. It expands all the way down to the Sinai into Egypt. All the way down into Saudi Arabia. Which would mean that all of Jordan, where did Israel just have a skirmish with and to start shooting with this week? Jordan. They told us they were going on a 7-front war. Are you kidding me? This is Armageddon, dude. This is it. Like, they're going after they're turning their guns on all of them, and they have. They have. And they're not done. Just wait. Just wait. They stopped in Egypt when they did the whole Gaza thing. Because Egypt put up a wall and would not let none of them in at all, and it caused all these people to get slaughtered. But if they run back down there, I'm telling you, if they want the Egyptian land, they're going to go to war with Egypt. Here's the thing, though. Sissy. Al-Sisi on this world stage is influenced by Rothschild. So, it's such a sham, this whole thing, when you know it. If you don't realize what we know about Rothschild and the control and everything that we've figured out this past decade about all this, if you're just one of them sheep out there just ignoring all this, man, like, I don't even know what to say. Colin, thank you. I just wanted to point that out about BRICS here. Before I close it down for the night, it's only fitting that we talk about some Epstein updates. Bill Gates just dropped $50 million to Kamala and them, hoping and praying that they win. And they do this just days after Elon Musk comes out and says the billionaires are terrified of Trump's Epstein client list and his promise. Because Trump said if he gets in, he's releasing what he knows. Like, dude, staged or not staged, there are factions out here that will go at each other's throat. And that will take out other people. I mean, just look at P. Diddy. Look at Epstein. Powerful dudes in powerful positions. Groomed to be who they were. But still taken out. Dudes higher than Bill Gates. The Rothschilds. You know, the guys that can poke a finger in the chest of the king of England. Yeah. That kind of power, hidden, that you don't see on the books anymore, anything like that. Full-blown satanic control. That's what Gates is scared of here. Well, he better have paid his dues. Beast is nasty, man. Look at it chew up and spit out its own kind at any given moment. they better hope they're making their sacrifices. Well, I guess when you're sacrificing and taking out guys, it helps in two ways. You can sacrifice someone and you can silence someone like Epstein. Like Diddy. Diddy's been talking in code, if you guys haven't heard it, telling people to clean up the pizza boxes and all the plastic bottles and all this stuff, saying, oh, this code, it's a pizza, huh? You want to take it back to the gate? Huh? Well, it's all real. It's all real. And it's the only language he knows, like Podesta and all of them. And you're hearing it. And I mean, they don't got all the goods on him. Like, it is fitting to get interesting. Somewhere Tupac's smiling big. Biggie, all of them, they're smiling big right now. Boys up there in heaven, all the guys that are responsible for murdering, let me say, this is the closest we've got, and we'll get probably to redemption, to solving your murders, especially for Tupac and Biggie, and the man that cut the $1 million check behind it, all of it. This is the closest we're ever going to get to putting him away, whether it's officially for your murders or not. Salutes. You were murdered. Regardless, you were murdered. And I know a murdered soul wants, in the end, that justice. You know it. Some don't even pass on or move on until they find it. May those souls start to find some solace. That because you ain't never gonna, the feds ain't never gonna get it. You ain't never gonna see a Fed one a day, one a name mentioned. All you get is a bunch of redacted paperwork. They'll throw out every celebrity, every big name person out there. They'll throw them all under the bus before it gets to them. They always do. We're back there. Yeah. Diddy should go down for murder. Not orgies. But I said the same thing about Epstein. Epstein was not about just sexual stuff. It was about sacrifice. And that is what people are most scared of. Some people would wish it was just about sex. Some people would wish that it was just about, oh, you got me with some hookers or something on film. Like, no. We got you sacrificing the youth and draining the adrenal and all of it. That right there is what's never mentioned. That would blow the caps off of most Americans. Their minds wouldn't be able to handle it. I hate it when people deflect about things and take away from the point. It's like someone out there trying to deflect, saying Tupac this, Tupac that. Look, they were murdered, dude. This is justice for murdered individuals. Well, if you were murdered, we're just going to sit here and be like, oh, well, he did this, he did that, and just picked you apart for it, huh? Only God can judge me, just as he said. You know, these guys were murdered. And my soul was always, the investigator in me is always going to seek to solve these murders. It's only righteous that everything in the dark be brought to the light. And we do that work. You know? So, I've been only want it done for me that something happened to me and somebody put in the work. To put the bad guy away. You know what I'm saying? It's just that simple. And I feel like we got Diddy right there. He's not, again, He's not just the only one. There's a lot of players in the game. There's a lot of devils in the game. But it was ultimately the hand, the beast, the club that killed these gentlemen. They did the whole thing. They ordered the hit. They did all of it. They gave it the green light. They were there. They watched it. They filmed all the hits. You talk about faces of death or crazy footage. If you could see some of the craziest footage that the feds have on file, hidden, just like the JFK files that have been hidden for years, if all that stuff was ever really shown, they've got every high-profile murder and assassination of everyone. And it would just blow your freaking mind. And then you would know who was behind them all. I mean, that's just behind them all. That's just behind them all. All. That's it. It all leads back to the same place, same doorstep of the demon. Oh yeah, that beast. And all these guys are just the minions of him. They all just trying to eat off the fruits of it. They were down for sacrificing me and you. Isn't it crazy to think? They were down for doing whatever it took, the devil's will and his game, to lock us down, inoculate in mass, to do whatever. They were down to do whatever. They didn't care about us at all. They were down for the scheme. So these goons paid handsome, and who knows? You may never get Gates. Some of these guys may pay the dues all the way. And I mean, he's old. These guys are getting old. They don't have much time on the clock, period. I almost feel like that at certain points, though, what we're seeing like a boss move, like a boss mafia move, like globally, like by the beast, by the club, like they're milking their own members here. Someone is. Well, he just chalked up $50 million to throw it at Harris. Like, yeah, see, that isn't just going to Kamala, and then no, this is going toward the beast. These are donations going toward their head honcho. And I might as well make mention here also, before I close it down, Abercrombie and Fitch, their ex-CEO, arrested in Florida on sex trafficking charges. Oh boy. Yeah. You know how deep this rabbit hole runs? We're going to have to break this down in the next stream and dive down that hole. But just let it be known, yeah, this piece of... Every single person that you ever knew that's famous, that ever modeled for Abercrombie and Fitch, went through this dude and went through his circles, which were all the same way as Diddy's. They're satanic, they're sexual, highly sexualized, and guess who came through this circle as well? You got someone that overlaps out of the whole P. Diddy thing into this one. A very young, baby-faced, virgin butted at the time, I'm sure, but not now. Not after this. Ashton Kutcher. Same Ashton Kutcher that's geeking now, saying is about to pack his bags if Trump wins and all this stuff. He's moving to Europe to avoid all this drama. Oh, really? Really? Some of these guys are as guilty as it gets. And I told you all the video that's already out there on them. It's all the evidence the court needs to fry them. They've already done the damage. So, crazy though, there are a bunch of these people, big heads. Well, you thought were big heads. It looks like they're calling the pack. It looks like the upper echelon of the establishment is looking down and around them like, you know what? There's too many now. There's just too many people. There's too many millionaires, too many billionaires. There's too many getting close to us. Too many potential threats, especially when you hit billionaire status. They start pulling cards, man. It keeps them safer. Yeah. And better, in their eyes, better to take these guys down like this than to get caught, have them come together and do it to you. Mossad and company's nasty, man. Oh, and that is the Mossad hood. That is the like the CIA of Israel. And they're nasty. They operate nasty. They're as cutthroat as it gets. Just look it up. And that brings me to a close. At 11:11, fire up the music. Only fitting. Take us out of here. I love y'all. I thank y'all for joining me. Sharing the stream. Let's be back on Friday for the next one. I want to thank everyone. Kiss me in the prayers. All you guys who dropped the super chats tonight. Appreciate it to the fullest, man. DC. Much love. Everybody drop coffees, man. Adam, Jacob, K-Law, Juan. Much love. God bless. I don't see in flesh. See in inside. Underground. Much love, Eon. Telling you, you legend. It's got us in control. God bless y'all. God bless you to the fullest.